We gotta wait for Paula, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
we're
still
going
on.
Because I don't hang out in there until I get called in there, and it was Saturday, it was something else, I was a little perturbed.
Was it packed? or not?
Oh, it was, boy, was it, they had an overabundance of students in there, the most I've ever seen. I heard they oversold tickets to them. They had to keep calling crowd control for the aisleways because they were standing while they had so many students. So I had to call to go open when the game started or before, well, I think right before kickoff, up in up in the towers, and I was like this trying to get through. And they were just no mask on, big spreader about. It was just awesome. Wasn't too happy with that. And then by the time it's done, a lot of passed out people. Paramedics were there left and right.
I think that's a couple minutes off.
We're at 6:29.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
that's accurate.
I got 6:20.
According to the GPS watch.
GPS watch?
Gives your heart rate.
Counts as heartbeats.
Holy crap.
Heartbeats, the date, gives you your blood pressure.
Mine doesn't work. Not the blood
It's not
pressure,
one
but
of
mine
the
doesn't
Apple
work.
Watches.
This is a GPS Garmin.
Okay.
Wow.
Nifty.
Mine told me right where I was at in the mall today when I was going to Men's Warehouse.
So,
Trying
is
to
it-
find where it is because.
so then it makes it hard for you if your wife calls you up, asks you what you're doing. Where you at? No,
It doesn't
you're.
have the internet. No,
Oh.
no internet.
Does it connect to your phone?
Yeah.
It might have it. Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Great, call the meeting to order. And looks like everybody's here, so.
Yep.
Anybody on Zoom?
Nope.
Fantastic.
Nobody's on Zoom.
Make motion to approve the minutes.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And items of business, chief's report.
For the month of August, it had 19 reports. Couple of the interesting ones was one that was noted in your paperwork. One was the assist, actually we had two assists to the sheriff's department. The first one was the human trafficking sting operation that did take place first part of August. 5 individuals were arrested. As noted, one was, emphasis on was, a Lansing police officer.
Was it at the time of the sting? or-
Yes, he's now resigned, seeing as how he's facing numerous felony charges. And the other was a youth pastor out of the Hazlet area.
Oh, my.
That floored me when I read that.
So, they're all facing felony charges. The second assist to the sheriff's department was a suicide by gun. The individual was successful. That from a self-inflicted gunshot. We did assist state police on a felonious assault with a gun. That individual was also charged with that. Did have one case pending for possession of meth. That individual isn't in the area any longer. His wife did serve him with a PPO order. So the judge granted that and he hasn't been back since. So we're just waiting for the lab results to get a felony warrant for him for possession of meth. So it was kind of a busy month. We did do 70 traffic stops for the month. 29 tickets were issued. Again, the big one is 22 for speed. 41 of the 70 were traffic warnings. Again, the high was 26 for speed, so we did give warnings on that. You will notice that there's 4 tickets issued for expired registrations and 13 warnings for expired registrations. Basically, now that the state has allowed us to write those, they were given warnings, now they're getting tickets. So that period where they were allowed to, say, skirt the system is catching up to them. So Secretary of State's office is open. Their hours longer. There's also kiosks. You can do it on the internet. So the excuse where I couldn't get in isn't flying anymore. So we're doing a bunch of those. I did do AVI training for the firefighters. And that's basically active violence incidents, either a shooting or a stabbing that may occur at one of our schools. So we went over what the fire department and the ambulance responsibilities are if something like that were to occur here in Langsford. The one thing that we talked about previously was the traffic control orders that are needed predominantly in the morning here due to the drop off of kids at both the ECEC and the middle school. So one of the things we're doing is asking for city council's approval that on westbound Grand River, just east of High Street, to do a traffic control order that there'll be no left turn to go south on High Street from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. The afternoon isn't too bad because we don't have the same backup that we're having in the morning. And that may be because most of the kids from the ECEC are gone already. I don't know, but the afternoon is not that big of a problem. To also combat that problem is like to have another traffic control order that there will be no parking at any time on the south side of Grand River, running from Woodhull to High Street. Currently, and I don't know when this went into effect other than several years ago, 8 parking spots appeared. I don't know if there was ever even a traffic control order to have those in place,
Yeah,
but they appeared. So to help combat the traffic problem, again, we would just put no parking at any time, because again, we've got parents that are turning in there wanting to go to High Street. You then got parents coming out of ECEC after dropping their kids off. You've got cars parking there. And then you also got school buses that are trying to come out after dropping the kids off there. So in order to clean that up, put no parking on the south side only. There's already parking on the north side. There's some parking spots there. And as we stated before, the city and the school are already in the process of making a parking lot there at the southeast corner of that intersection. So eventually, hopefully that would also help alleviate some of the traffic issues with having that additional parking lot there. The last item for traffic control is, for some reason, there's a sign missing on Benson at Grand River that's a no outlet street. I thought when I first started, there was a sign there, but
I thought there was one too, and then
There
I
used
noticed
to
there
be a
wasn't a
sign.
couple years
Yeah,
ago.
I thought so too.
the sign disappeared.
Hmm.
And we
So
couldn't
it's in-
find any traffic control order for it.
It's in
So
someone's garage.
it's in somebody's garage, I'm sure. So we're gonna do another traffic control order to put one there. Like I said, we couldn't find one in the books for that sign.
Cause if I remember right, it was pretty faded too.
Yeah, it could be,
Been up a long time.
but I don't know if somebody was parking there and hit it or whatever, but
Probably the neighbor's backyard.
yeah. So there's basically 3 traffic control orders. So instead of combining them all in one, we need to actually have 3 traffic control orders. So,
Which I've seen that, like when I've had some time off work, whenever I do, I come through, I'm like, holy shit, you know, it's kind of scary because you get cars, the way they're lined up, it's like you're afraid a door's gonna open up or,
right. And
Little
then
kid's gonna
dropping
jet in
kids
front of you?
off. And so,
yeah, it's horrible.
you know, and they all want to get there between 7:40 and 7:55. So if we make that a no left turn for that half hour, I'm hoping that
That'd be
that
a
will
good
help
idea.
alleviate the problem. I have talked to the principal of the elementary, because she's in charge of the ECEC, and also the principal of the middle school. They're on board with whatever the city does, and they will also put out the word in their newsletter once that starts to take place.
And we'll have to get signage. How long is that gonna take?
I don't know, I'll have to check with Dave, because we'll have to kind of special order the no left turn from 7:30 to 8.
Are they giving suggestions like Shiawassee or all the way around the loop? Or
So,
no?
We
Well, that way's
will,
buses.
yeah, we will tell them how to figure it out. Some of that is, a lot of them are gonna have to come down, well, turn left on Shiawassee, or they can circle around and come back up on Grand River to go eastbound.
Yeah.
So they'll have to kind of figure it out.
Is there a time frame that you have to give notice that this is taking effect before you can enforce it?
Usually it could go in effect right away, but we'll probably give them 3 weeks, probably 21 days.
We'll put this in Yargus and
Right, that there'll be, so we'll give them ample time. We'll put it out on Facebook, which everybody reads. So if not, they'll at least comment on it.
Can't wait for that one.
So there'll be plenty of notice about that. And one nice thing is we haven't paid for the striping of the new parking spots yet, so, or the,
So it's like they probably get paint from what I read, so it might be a little bit.
yeah, so and we'll eliminate those spots as just no
Just put
parking.
ECEC line,
Yeah,
just write it on there.
Yeah.
ECEC line.
staging, yeah,
Well, I got a perfect person that's probably back over here by the alley that probably do that.
yeah. So,
That's a nice job.
other than, so this Friday is the homecoming for the high school. So we will have a parade, and Grand River will be shut down periodically. The parade starts at 4:45. So Grand River will be shut down at 4:40.
Where are they going from?
Same route, elementary school down Crum to Grand River to Woodbury. The floats this year were said, we'll just continue them and continue them to the high school. The band and stuff will cut off to the Sage Market. But to safely get them there, they can at least follow us to the high school, get the floats up there, get them off Grand River, get them off Woodbury. And that way we can do that safely. So DPW will be assisting us with blocking some of the streets, so will the fire department. So we got that covered. On the 25th, as you know, we have the Blues Festival at the bottom of the hill. So Grand River will be shut down there at Roosevelt Row and also at South Lane. I think they're gonna shut the road down at 2. I think it starts at 3, goes till 11, 11:30.
It seems like that.
Yeah, it's
we
usually
we had
right
a
around there.
motion.
Yeah, the motion was out
That was a
there.
while ago. but
Yeah, so we'll have 2 officers on during that time period. I think that's about it.
all the craziness going on in the world. Are we having any more training for active shooter or any kind of domestic violence?
Countywide, it's been kind of stalled because of COVID. So we're still doing the training with our officers as well as the fire department, so that we know what we're doing. But on that aspect, no. No. So, yeah.
I mean, the good thing about it is you've already had quite a bit of training and stuff like that, so that's a plus.
Right. So, and, you know, I was on the SWAT team for 25 years, so.
I
that's
think you
kind of the
got it
stuff
covered,
we
you got
did.
it covered.
So that's the high risk stuff that we did, so we can take care of that. And
It's good that you're on SWAT, but sometimes it's good to have other departments working together and practicing together. knowing
Right,
each other's gonna
And
do.
we did that. Unfortunately, it's already been like 3 years since we've done that together.
Kinda
It's
why I
it's
was
been
bringing
that-
it up.
And
It's been that long ago?
yeah, it's
Like, wasn't that long ago, I
was
guess.
brought up, with the sheriff's department stuff, and until this COVID thing actually is out of the works, then we'll start, hopefully trying to do that again.
We don't see
So,
any sign of that ending at this point.
and not anytime soon. So I think we're pretty good on it, if it does happen, it's gonna be total chaos. And just try to control the chaos.
Are people all vaccinated, or is that a requirement this department's been making, or is that?
I think that, I know most of our officers are. I think there's 2 that may not be, I'm not sure. So I didn't really get into whether or not they're getting vaccinated, so,
Oh, it's not mandatory
no. So,
to keep their employment.
yeah,
I got vaccinated.
most of them have full-time jobs elsewhere. This is a part-time gig. So
I got my first dose and got sicker than hell, and can't wait for my second one. Hopefully it's a little better than the first one.
well, the last 36
Pfizer.
hours after that, mine was a treat.
Mine almost started like half hour afterwards.
Yeah,
Just little things, I'm like, oh.
yeah.
Went to work next day, 4 hours into it, I told the boss, I gotta go home. Me and my coworker that both had it done together at Breslin. Not good.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Do we have anything under other? Oh, you're good. Others.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, hopefully, so I was gonna ask, so how'd it go on the Doyle Road when they closed down Woodbury and stuff?
Actually, there wasn't that much traffic, really.
Hmm.
It was, the only really time that people didn't use Doyle Road was when they were actively paving.
Mhm.
Other than that, it really wasn't an issue. We have been sitting up on Woodbury Road now that it's resurfaced, and we've got a few at 54 and 56.
Really?
so-
Oh my gosh. Jeez, so
So-
big.
They
Nice.
don't get warnings, right?
No, they don't. get
Wow,
warnings.
that's crazy.
So they get citations.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So, and then the jail is,
Take
Locked
new
back down.
residents.
they're locked down. They will only take drunk driving arrests, domestic assaults, PPO violations, and certain felonies. So, because the jail is, actually COVID is running through the jail. So much that the corrections officers are the ones having to wash all the inmates' clothes. Corrections officers are the ones that are dealing with all the food, stuff that trustees used to do and stuff like that. And so they've got hit hard. They did have a corrections officer die on the 11th from the COVID. So things are tight at the Shiawassee County Jail. I don't know if some of that's due to the age of the jail, the ventilation systems and all that stuff. That's may or may not be a factor. So, but that's the way the Shiawassee County Jail is.
Does anybody have anything else? All right, take a motion to adjourn. All in
Second.
Your
favor?
turn now.